Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Create Brevity. This is your host, eDirector, and for this week's episode, I want to talk about how your 3D is just the echo or the ripple of the past, and nothing more and nothing less, and how you really shouldn't worry about it because that's all your 3D is. Before we get into it, I'm just going to sell myself a little bit. So just want to remind you guys that I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I also have a wonderful blog with manifesting tips and techniques. And all of this can be found on my website, www.createbrevity.com. So feel free to check that out if you have any questions or if you're just interested in learning more about manifesting. So, okay, we'll just jump right into today's topic, which is relating your 3D to ripples in a pond or echoes in the past. So, for some of you guys who are really struggling with a 3D, I myself have been there many times, and I, at some point, see myself there again. Um, Everyone struggles with a 3D. It's part of our humanity. It's part of accepting kind of where we are. That's part of the manifesting journey. Remember, manifesting is not about what you want, it's about who you are, right? It's about what you are and what you're thinking about. So if you find yourself in a position where you don't love the people and the things around you, you have to ask yourself why and how you got there, right? And that takes some, self-awareness and some self-assessment. But you also have to accept that you don't like it. That doesn't mean that you have acceptance, doesn't mean that you approve of it. That doesn't mean you're enjoying it. But I believe I'm not one of those people that believes in denying your 3D. When I first got into conscious manifesting, I misinterpreted some of Neville's work, some other manifesting teachers' works to mean kind of this delusional, almost like I was pushing the 3D away from me, like I was putting blinders on to anything I didn't want to see. And that's not really what manifesting is. We've talked about it before, the different steps, but part of it is acknowledging what's happening around you, but knowing that you don't have to stay there, right? That's what we're doing when we're manifesting. We see what's going on around us, we see what's in front of us, but we also see and know that we are so much more than that, that we are capable of more, that we deserve more. So while we might physically be here and we still have to navigate this physical plane, we can push past that mentally. Emotionally, we're somewhere else, right? Because we can always choose in any given moment to be happy or to be just a little bit happier, right? To be a little bit more productive, to be a little bit closer to our goals, okay? And that's what I mean about living in the end. Living in the end is not denying what's happening in front of your eyes, right? What it means is knowing that where you are is not where you're going to end up, okay? It's knowing that where you are, and this is where today's topic comes in, is just sort of the ripples in a pond, right? I don't know if you guys are like me, but if you've ever skipped stones on a lake, okay, or if you've ever just thrown a pebble into a lake, when it hits the water and it has that thumping noise, right? That thunk as soon as it hits the water, and as the rock drops into the water, you get all these ripples, okay? And what you have to realize is that's where you were, is that rock. That's where you were, okay? As you're sinking through the water, as you're making some progress, okay? The ripples on top of the lake, though, they haven't moved because they're still dealing with that initial action. They're still reacting, but it's a reaction to something that already happened, right? If you're really good at throwing rocks or skipping stones, right, you might get very far into the middle of the lake and you don't even see the rock anymore, but you'll see those little ripples coming back towards you. Okay, and that's how you know that the rock actually hit the water, that it sank. And when you see those ripples, you can very easily believe that those ripples are the beginning and the end, but they're not. They're just a reaction of something that already happened, right? It's just old news. It's just reminding you that minutes ago, right? Or seconds ago, something hit the water and it dropped. That's it. That's all your 3D is, okay? I've given you guys the example of a building going up before. Um, and I had some feedback, and it seemed like some people didn't understand. So I was trying to find a way to make it kind of stick into your heads, and hopefully help you to really understand that what you're experiencing is the thoughts and the emotions that you had 3 months ago. Okay. And 3 months from now, the only way to control 3 months from now, or 6 months, or 6 weeks, or 3 weeks from now, is by how you're thinking today, right now, what you're choosing to do right now. And that's really all you have to remember and all you have to know about manifesting, right? That's all you have to know about manifesting and dealing with a 3D. So if the ripple analogy doesn't work, think about it like an echo. When you hear someone's voice and you look around and it's not there and you realize it's just something echoing, right? You guys have all been there. You're in a big room, okay, with high ceilings, okay, and you hear noises, you don't know where they're coming from, and you realize they're coming from way over there, okay? Or it's someone giggling at you from the front door, and you're wondering, how could I hear it all the way on the second floor? Because the sound echoed. As that person was traveling, okay, down the stairs to the front door, their voice carried to you. That doesn't mean they're still on the second floor with you. They're all the way by the front door, okay? They've gone down the stairs, but their voice carried to you. Their voice was just a remnant of a past event. It was just letting you know that in the past, this existed. These thoughts, these feelings existed, right? So if you find yourself consciously manifesting and you hate your 3D, and I have been there, and it really looks and feels like you're not going to get what you want, and there is just no way that it's going to work out, okay? That is an indication that you have severely limited your perspective, okay? You guys have to understand that your brain is not telling you what you know. It's not telling you everything that you know, and your brain, okay, at least consciously, as you're consciously aware of your brain, of your mind, it exists to prove you right. So if you are constantly looking for ways to undermine yourself, you're looking for ways to undermine all the people around you, your brain is going to work overtime, okay, to make sure you're right. Because it believes that telling you that you're right and proving that to you keeps you safe, okay? That's what it believes. It believes in shortcuts and saving time for you, categorizing things, right? It does that because evolutionarily, okay, in the past, overly thinking about every single thing hurt us as a species. It actually held us back. We need to make quick decisions, right? When we're being attacked, when we're running away from something, okay, when we're scared. So that is how your brain is reacting, okay, to the problems that we have today. For example, if you're manifesting an SP, okay, and you're really struggling to see them in a positive way, and you're wondering how you can turn that around, okay, I want you to hear and think about some of the things that you were thinking about your SP, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I know some of you guys have amazing self concepts right now, and some of you guys are really doing well on your limiting beliefs. But think about how you were thinking about them a little while ago, okay? And when I say little while, that could be weeks, that could be days ago for some of you, depending on how long you've held this awesome, wonderful self concept, these awesome beliefs about yourself. And you'll kind of start to see, oh, okay, So right now is probably the manifestation of those negative thoughts I had about a week ago. Okay? And oh, okay. Yeah, I can see how those things are linked together. Okay, great. I understand this. I know that I've been holding these good thoughts, so they should start manifesting soon enough. Okay? Now, don't take that and then start looking for good things to manifest. I mean, you can if you need to, right? If you are wanting some BBLs, okay, to kind of keep your faith, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that you're past that in your 4D, right? You are all the way at the end where all of these problems have worked out, okay? And you're just there. So you don't need to worry about it, okay? And that goes with SP, that goes with health, that goes with wealth, okay? It's the same thing. If you are hating your 3D, I want you to think back on a week ago, 2 weeks ago. What were you thinking, right? What were you feeling? What was your perspective on your SP, perspective on your health, perspective on money at that point, okay? Now, don't be cruel to yourself, okay? And don't be harsh on your thoughts and your feelings and try to push them away. Accept that they're there and that they're trying to tell you something, which is that whatever thoughts and feelings keep popping up, they're things that need to be released, okay? They're things that you need to redirect your focus from, okay? Not in a delusional way, but in a way where you can accept that you're feeling that way now, but you know that it's not going to stop you, and you know that at some point you will feel better, right? I I read an article, this was a couple of years ago, and this was about a athlete. He was a track and field star, and as he was getting ready for the Olympics, they asked him about getting nervous, and he said that he never gets nervous. And the writer, the sports journalist, couldn't believe this and kept pressing him for more information until finally um, the athlete told this journalist this kind of amazing anecdote about how he doesn't perceive these emotions and feelings as nerves anymore, as anxiety. He has retrained himself to think of it as fun, as anticipation, as excitement. He realized that the root of anxiety and the root of excitement, they kind of feel similar. It's just the perspective that we put on it. And that's always stayed with me. And sometimes when I feel myself getting really anxious, I start to think of it as what if when I'm just anticipating something good to happen in this moment, right? It's the same feeling, right? And the same physical symptoms. My heart rate's going up, maybe my palms are a bit sweaty, okay? I'm feeling a little bit keyed up, okay? However, when I'm looking forward to something, I know at the end of all of that that I'm going to be happy, right? Whereas when I'm dreading something, I'm getting all of these physical responses because I'm scared, because I feel like I might have to run away, because I'm ashamed, right? So, what if I associate it differently in my head? What if I could train myself to do that as this athlete did, right? So instead of hyping himself up for failure, he pumps himself up for success. And that's kind of how I want you to think of it. I want you guys to get so wrapped up in loving yourself and living that amazing life, okay, that you know is yours, that you know you have, that you're not looking around the corner every 5 seconds for your manifestation. And I know it's hard, okay, because we want to micromanage. We want that certainty. We want to know that we're going to get it. But the thing is, just let yourself have it. Have the courage to let go of the 3D. Start practicing, start training your brain, okay? Start understanding that your feelings are there to tell you that there's something wrong. They're not your enemy, they're not trying to take you down, they're not trying to tank your manifestation. They're there to let you know what needs to be worked on and what doesn't, okay? That's what your feelings are. In fact, that's kind of what your thoughts are doing too. They're working together, okay? And don't think about your manifestations rationally or logically. I know we've talked about this in past episodes, but I just feel like I really need to make it clear. You guys have to realize that your manifestations, okay, they're not coming from a logical place. They're coming from faith in you, okay? And all of those ripples and echoes that you're seeing and hearing, okay, that's old news, okay? There's no need to fight with it, to argue with it. If it affects you, accept that it's affecting you, but that's not stopping you. The only thing that can tell you no and that can stop you is you. So if you find yourself arguing with yourself, if you find yourself telling yourself no, ask yourself why. Why am I prosecuting my manifestation? Okay? Why am I debating myself? Why am I defending myself from me? Okay? That's the real question. That's the thing that really needs to be fixed, is that right there. Everything else, don't worry about it. Okay? You are where it begins and you're where it ends. Accept yourself. Okay? Accept what's going on. Love yourself. Don't waste time on past mistakes and regrets and would haves and should haves. None of that matters. Okay? Because those thoughts, those are circumstances too. Okay? Those thoughts, those are just distractions too. Those are just echoes. Those are just ripples, okay, of an old version of you. You have upgraded. You're awake, however you want to think about it. You know that if you put your focus on where you want to be, okay, and you accept that want and that desire and you own it and you know that that's yours and you can really let go and you can really own it the way that you want it and you know, right? You have that knowing feeling, okay? It's going to work out. And you don't have to do it every single day or all the time or every single second. This is a no stress process. Manifesting is a stress free process, right? This is a no worries process. Your brain is a no worries zone because no matter what you do, you're going to get your manifestation. But if you want to feel better while you're getting it, if you want to feel like you're getting it faster, then this is what we do. We let go, we accept, we move through things. We let our thoughts and our emotions guide us. We don't fight them. We are aware of who we are. I was I just finished reading this book called Living Untethered. It's a companion to The Untethered Soul, both written by Michael Singer. And he talks about how sometimes when he's confronted with something, circumstances, the 3D, he reminds himself that he is inside of himself, that his body isn't who he is, his thoughts, okay, his feelings aren't who we are. He's something different, okay? And how he kind of observes things happening. And we've talked about that a bit before on the podcast. But if you guys like this technique, I want you to adopt Michael Singer's technique. Ask yourself who you are in that moment. You're so much more than what you're going through right now. You're so much more than what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Okay? I know it sucks sometimes. I've been there. It really hurts. Okay? Let it let it do its thing. Okay? Let it pass through you. Acknowledge what's happening, okay? Ask yourself why. But just know that it's not going to stop you, okay? Just know that it's leftover stuff. And as soon as you feel it and as soon as you accept it, you're already changing. You're already pushing through. You're already becoming something else. Okay? I really hope this helps. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, love and light. Love you guys. Thank you so much.